I'm like freaking out at the thought of even telling this story right now.
Just wanna see the light.
What is up, everyone? It's your girl Crystal here. Hopefully I don't look too crazy. It's literally like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sorry if I talk a little bit low because it's that late at night and everyone's asleep. If I wake someone up, my ass will be beat. But as you can tell by the title of the video, no, this is not clickbait. It's a very intense story time that I'm actually kind of freaking out about telling. This is my third time filming this video. The first time I deleted the content because I was too scared to talk about it. And then the second time, I literally had lipstick in my teeth the entire time. Like, I had just filmed this like not too long ago. So I'm probably gonna be like licking my teeth a lot during this video. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to make sure there's no lipstick. Alright, so basically a long time ago, when I was in culinary school, before any of the social media happened, before YouTube happened, before anything happened, I was dating this guy, and I'm gonna call him Hollister because I'm looking at a Hollister bag right now, and honestly I feel like it fits. I was dating this guy named Hollister, and we had been dating for a while, like a long time actually. And at this point, I kind of just decided, like, you know what, I'm going to get on birth control. I'm going to take the initiative. I thought I was being responsible. Other people don't think that. Hollister never met my parents just because, I mean, it was kind of both of us. At first, it was him. I wanted to bring him around, but he never wanted to. And then like towards the end he wanted to, but then I didn't want to because it was just a mess. It was both of us. Basically, he never met my parents, and my parents never really liked him because of that. I never really told them about him, but they're not dumb. Like, they figured I had a boyfriend and they just wanted to meet him, and that's it. But my parents are the very old school Mexican parents, like old rules, old type of thinking, so you kind of know where this is going. So I started up on birth control, and I wasn't taking it for that long, and I don't know why, but I left a open, like a, not open, but it was like an empty cartridge, and it was like broken too. Like, it was broken in half, like the full thing wasn't even there. Honestly, I wouldn't even think it was what it was, seeing it like that. But one day I was at school, and I guess I had left that little piece on my counter, and my mom had came into my room. I don't know what happened, but she ended up finding it. And I was at school, and on my way home she called me and she was like, "Where are you? Are you coming home?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm coming home." Like, I didn't want to stay at the apartment I had at the time, so I came home, and she didn't tell me anything. And so I went straight to the gym from when I came home. And keep in mind, my school is 2 hours away, so I came home from that drive, went to the gym with Hollister, and I was working out there for not that long, and she called me. It was around 8 o'clock, and she was like yelling at me. She was like, "Where are you? You need to be home." And I was just kind of like, okay. Like, I thought she was just in a bad mood and she wanted me to be home. So I went home. I didn't finish my workout. I just left. I went home. Right when I get home, oh man, you best believe your girl was shook. My mom just goes up to me and she gives it to me, and I was just like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? She just kept asking me. She was like, "What is this? What is this?" Like, she just wanted me to tell her what it was. She already knew what it was. Like, she already knew what it was. I told her that it was to regulate my period, and she was just like, "Bullshit." She didn't believe me, but I tried. And so that night was bad. Like, it was really bad. I was just getting yelled at and chewed out, and I was bawling my eyes out, and I don't even know how to tell you. Like, obviously none of you guys were there, so it's like hard to explain, but it was probably the worst I've ever gotten in trouble. It was pretty bad. In my family, or not in my family I should say, but my parents, the way they see all that is like, you shouldn't even be doing any of that until you get married, like old school. I was bawling my eyes out and I go to my room and I lock my door. Oh, bad mistake, Crystal, bad mistake. I lock my door, I get on my phone, and I called my boyfriend right away. So I call him, right? And I'm sitting on my bed. I remember I'm sitting on my bed and his mom answers. His mom answers, and his mom loves me, and she was trying to have a conversation with me, but you know what, I was just like, can I talk to him? Like, I didn't say it in a rude way, like I wasn't like pushing her off the phone, but I was like, can I talk to him? I was just like, can I talk to him? And I guess she kind of noticed that I was upset, but he gets on the phone, and right when he gets on the phone, like I couldn't even tell him one thing, couldn't even say anything, when I hear like banging on my door. She's like, what are you doing? You're on your phone, you're probably calling him, like, give me your phone, open the door right now. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I hung up on him. I opened the door. My mom takes my phone and she's like, you're not talking to him and I'm gonna start tracking your phone. So my mom takes my phone, and I guess Hollister's mom told him that I sounded upset, so they kind of knew something was going on. So Hollister calls me back and he's calling me and he's texting me. Honestly, it was nonstop, calling, texting, calling, texting, calling, texting, calling, texting. Like, it didn't stop the entire night. It didn't stop. For hours and hours my phone was just going off, and my mom wouldn't like put it on silent. Like, I would just hear it go off and off and off and off. At this point, my anxiety was through the roof. I was dying. I was freaking out. She was just like, I'm gonna answer it. Like, I'm gonna talk to him. And I was just like, oh, please don't do that. Do not do that. Eventually, I think she turned off my phone, but he kept calling. He kept texting. I swear I woke up to over 100 calls. Like, it was pretty crazy. Since my school is 2 hours away, it's kind of like I need my phone just in case of an emergency, you know? My mom gave me my phone, but she started tracking me. Like, she shared my location with her, and then she also had share my iPhone or find my iPhone from the AT&T thing. I don't know what it was, but she had both of them. She had that. She gave me my phone, so I get into my car to start driving to school. It was like, I don't know, I think it was maybe 5 in the morning. My mom was tracking my phone, and all I wanted to do was see him. He lives in a totally opposite direction of me, so if I were to go, you know, to take him to school with me, like, obviously it would be really obvious, like, my mom's tracking me, she's looking at my every move. It wouldn't be possible. On my way to like the freeway from my house, there's a few gas stations, and the one closest to the freeway is the one closest to him. So he said, you know what, like, I'll meet you at this gas station, I'll be there and you just pick me up and I'll go with you, because I was literally freaking out. I was having a mental breakdown at this point. But that specific gas station I never go to, because there's one closer to my house. And so I stop at that gas station literally for probably 2 minutes. Right away my mom calls me, why are you at this gas station? You never go to this gas station. Why are you there? And I was just like, oh, I forgot to get gas. Sorry, Mom. I forgot to get gas. And so I start driving, and if you know how like share my location works and how all that works, obviously it's not very accurate. Like, it's accurate, but it's not. Like, it messes up. It's not perfect. So basically on my whole ride to school, I was getting calls asking me why I was stopping on the side of the freeway, and I was just like, I'm not stopping. Like, it's just, it doesn't really work. It's on my way to school. I was just bawling my eyes out the whole way. I was just telling him how I didn't want to be there anymore, how I've kind of had enough with everything. And then once I got to school, like, I was there for the full 4 hours that my school lasts. My school would get out at 2 in the afternoon, but by that time the traffic is so bad. So we went to my car at 2 to leave, and I get to my car and we go to, to start going home. Please tell me why on this day, bitch, my car did not start. It didn't start on all days. My car did not start. And I'm not trying to like put it out there and brag. A lot of you guys know this already about me, but I drive a BMW. And you would think it's reliable, and on all days my car doesn't start. So I was literally shook. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I was so paranoid at this point, to the point where I was thinking that because my car wouldn't start, like, my parents were gonna somewhat find out that he was with me. So I called AAA and I'm freaking out. I didn't want to call them because I didn't want my parents to find out that he was with me. They send someone, but they say it's gonna take a while. And I'm like, it's gonna take forever to get home. Like, after 3 o'clock, the traffic, like, it would literally take me 4 hours to get home. So I'm freaking out. And then there's this other guy in the parking structure that has a BMW too. He's like, what's wrong with your car? And I was like, I don't know. Like, can you look at it, see if you can figure out what's going on? I had already figured that I just needed a jump start and like I'll be able to drive it home. He's like, you know what? I don't have jumper cables, but I can go get some. Like, give me 10 minutes. And I was just like, okay, like, please, like, if you can help. So he leaves and I was like, okay, whoever comes first, AAA or this guy. So this guy ends up coming back first and he jump starts my car and it's all good. It starts. I call AAA, I cancel it. So I start driving, I get on the freeway. It's already 3 o'clock, so the traffic is so bad. And my car literally starts shaking. Like, it starts making the loudest sound and it starts shaking. And I'm like, oh my god, Hollister, like, we're gonna die. Like, this is the end of the world. My parents hate me. They're going to kill me. And that's basically it. And I was over exaggerating, clearly, but I don't know what was wrong with it. Like, to this day, I don't know what was wrong with it. But I just started driving it and eventually the sound kind of faded. Like, it was still there, but it faded. I get back to the area of where I live. And so I had to obviously leave him at his house because like, I can't take him home, obviously. And so where he lives, like, say I'm going to my house, I would have to get off an earlier exit to go to his house instead of going further down and then going to my house, if that makes any sense. So I got off on the earlier one and right away my mom calls me, why are you getting off on this exit? You're not supposed to be getting off on this exit. What are you doing? And I was just like, the car's making weird sounds. I don't want to drive on the freeway, so I'm going to take the streets. Like, she didn't believe me, but I start driving and I drop him off. But where I dropped him off, my mom was literally across the street because she was at like my cousin's house or something like that. She was like across the street. My mom called me right away. Why are you stopping here? I'm down the street. I'm gonna go find you and see what you're doing. At this point, I had already dropped him off. I left him like on the sidewalk and like drove off. It was super fast because I did not want her to see me. So I drive off and I end up getting home. And I knew my mom was already coming home, but by the time I got home, nobody was home. And I was just so upset. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be here. I just want to go. I don't want to deal with this. I was literally just like running away from my problem. I call my friend and I'm not going to say her name because I don't know. I just don't want her to put her out there like that. I call her. I was like, you know what? Like, can I stay with you? Like, I don't want to be here. She's my best friend, so she's always been there for me, and no matter what, like, she'll be there for me. And so she was like, yeah, and she lives close to me. And I told her, I was like, okay, like, pick me up in like 20 minutes and I'll go. I was just praying that my mom wouldn't come home. So I write a note, I leave it, and I leave my phone. I erase everything off my phone. I leave my car, my keys, everything. Just get a duffel bag, and I left. And I went a couple streets down from my house, and my friend picked me up. At this point, I was regretting it. I didn't want to go through with it anymore. I just got all up in my head. And then I got into her car, and I was just like, you know what, like, if they're not there yet, I want to just go back and deal with it. Oh, we turned the corner and my mom is already there, and I was just like, I can't go back now. Like, they already saw the no. I left it at the front door. So I was just like, just go. Like, just go. So we start driving to her house, and I don't know why, like, we were just there. I was freaking out in her car, and all of a sudden, like, I just turn around. Like, I was in the back seat, and I turn around and I look at the car behind me, and I was like, wow, that car looks familiar. It was my car. It was my car, and my mom was driving it, and she was right behind me. You don't know, literally, like, this is what I did. This is what I did when I turned around. I was like, don't kid, like, I'm not kidding. That's what I did. I was like, Doc. My friend got so scared. I don't know how, but she didn't see me. We went straight, and my mom turned left. I guess she didn't see me, and I really thought she saw me. Like, the windows aren't tinted or anything. So we get to her house, and I was just talking to her mom for the longest time, and that night, I guess they started calling all my friends, and they called the friend I was with, and she just didn't answer. But they were calling every one of my friends, and they called him a few times. I don't know if they called his mom. I think they called his mom, but I'm not sure. And then I was there for maybe, I think it was 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I think eventually I called my sister, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm not with Hollister. Like, I'm with a friend, so I'm like, fine. Like, just, I don't want to go home. And literally all my sister was like, are you gonna go back to school? Like, that's all she asked me, and that got me mad, so I hung up. Eventually things kind of settled down, and I was just like, I should probably go back. Like, realistically wise, I'm going to school. I'm a full-time student. Like, things are good at home. Like, besides everything else, like, I have it good. I remember it was a Sunday, and I went to church that morning, and then in the afternoon I got dropped off by my friends. I walked in, they all just kind of looked at me and like turned around, and then like I was just like there kind of awkwardly, but like long story short, like, they just talked to me for the longest time. Like, you know, I was crying. Like, it was just a big drama, big mess, and all that stuff. I was still in big trouble. Like, I was still in big trouble. Yeah, that's basically kind of how it happened. My mom made me give her all the extra, like, pills that I had and all that back to her, and, like, she took them all. But I think that's everything. Like, as far as, like, the important stuff that happened, like, there was little stuff in between, like, within those 4 days, but nothing really important or, like, good enough to tell. Yeah, that's basically it. If you guys want to know, like, me and Hollister are not together anymore. I think that kind of, like, is clear. It wasn't because of that situation. We were still together after all that, but yeah, we're not together anymore. I hope you guys like this story time. I have a couple other crazy story times like this. I don't know if I could tell them though. That's basically it for this video. If you guys like these type of videos, if you want to see more story times, give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you want to see my other, or hear about my other crazy stories. Subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!